It is true that this market is flooded with NFTs, artworks and collections that have little to no value, either now or in the future. But it doesn't mean that NFTs themselves are worthless. In fact, some of them are incredibly valuable. And it's very important that you as a consumer are able to identify the ones that have potential value and ones that don't. Now, in order to understand this, I'm going to split this into two main parts. The first one being where we discuss NFTs as if they're an asset, which you're going to get a benefit from in the physical world. And then we'll discuss an NFT as the digital asset, which you can get benefit from if you utilize the digital world. Okay, because the distinction between the two is quite critical. Let's deal with the NFTs that have no real value straight off. Now, NFTs can be in various formats, but for the sake of this discussion, we're going to focus on art, music, and video clips. Now, if an NFT on the market only has the artwork going for it, as in there's nothing else associated with that NFT, like a roadmap or any other benefits that you're going to get, if it is literally just the art that you're buying, then it is the equivalent of walking into a physical store, seeing a nice drawing and buying it, or hearing a nice sound and buying that CD, buying that music, and or a video clip and buying that video, buying that DVD, whatever it is. Yeah. If it is by an unknown artist and the artwork's okay, you're probably not going to be able to resell it. In fact, there's probably a huge supply of those NFTs and they're going to be pretty worthless in the market. So in those scenarios, you have to consider it like what you do in the physical world. Now, if it's an up-and-coming artist, if it's an up-and-coming painter, if you want to take a risk and be like, yeah, I know there's nothing else associated with this NFT, there's no other benefits it brings, but I believe this person's going to be famous in 10 years, then maybe it's worth having a punt on it. However, if you're buying it just for the art, and there is nothing special about the artist or the image or the sound or the video clip, then those are going to be pretty worthless. And at the moment, I'd probably say 80 to 90% of the NFTs on the market are that. Okay. Now, it becomes different when you have a famous artist selling their artwork. We'll go on to the digital expression, but they may associate a physical painting with the NFT that you bought. Yeah, and therefore you own that, and you get a physical asset in that favor. But more importantly, you have an asset that has scarcity because it's done by a particular person that only makes a certain amount of those products, and that scarcity means that it's going to be rare and it's going to be valuable. Now, that's art and that's music and all of that, but a lot of these NFTs, it isn't the artwork or the actual, the piece of art that's important. It's the benefits that the purchaser gets from owning these NFTs. Now, this benefit may be monetary, it may be social justice, it could just bring you joy, but let's explore it a little bit. In exchange for buying an NFT, you could get access to a whole host of different things. You may get access to a community through the Discord server or other community groups. You may get preferential rates on certain products that are being sold as merchandise or in collaborations. You may get discounts from stores. You may get access to games or other fun things being developed by the company. 4, you may get exclusive access to events that the NFT sellers are putting on. For example, Gary V's NFTs V Friends, in that you can buy certain NFTs and they'll get you certain prizes. So if you hold the token called Mentoring Meeting Mongoose, the NFT will give you a 2-hour one-to-one mentoring session with Gary V, as well as access to his famous VCon. Snoop, invariably, if you get one of his NFTs, you'll get exclusive access to concerts that he's going to throw in the Metaverse. You may get discounts to actual physical tickets for concerts in the real world. You may get discounts for merchandise. So in my case, we have the unseen cards, and I've made a promise that anyone that purchases an unseen card, I will be inviting them for a dinner at one of the best restaurants in the world on me. Now, in addition to that, you have to think that these NFT holders, these NFT distributors, they're also buying space in the metaverse. So it isn't just that you get a benefit now, but it's that if this NFT launch is popular, you will find that it is more than likely that you will get discounted NFTs or future benefits. So you can see there's potentially other benefits that can be derived. And how do you know about this? Now, you'll find that most of these NFTs have a roadmap on their website which details how they'll spend the money that they raise, essentially like capital that they're raising in a company, and how they'll spend it based on the number of sales that they have and for a given timeline. These roadmaps will give you a good indication of what your return could potentially be now. The value that the NFT in this scenario is giving you, both tangible and intangible, is the value of the access and the benefits that it gives you. And remember, the other thing is, because of their popularity, these NFTs are resellable. So if you buy a popular one, you may get access to these events and then you can sell it on, and the prices will usually be stable or have a higher resale price. So essentially you're getting the benefits for free. Interesting one for me that is connected to the physical world is how an NFT may act like a future crypto dividend. And this is where the NFT is not a piece of art, but it does have benefits. And the benefits it has is because it acts like a stock, okay? And the benefits that it could give you are monetary returns, which are given to the purchasers over time. So in this case, it's quite easy to derive the value of the NFT because it's based on the underlying value that it retains, but also the potential of the money that you're going to physically make from holding these NFTs. Now, how does this work? Well, you're looking, and these are quite rare at the moment, but I'm looking into this space, and you'll see on our roadmap that we've laid this out as well. This is where the returns that you are, the capital that's raised from the initial NFT sale is being invested into projects which are also raising profits. And those profits that are being raised from that initial capital investment are then getting back to the user somehow. Now, this can be from a variety of ways. This can be from giving out, cash giveaways. This can be from drops. This can be from free NFTs or whatever. The point is that you are getting something back that is worth value for free just because you hold these NFTs. And for that, you're really looking for companies or NFTs that have this future roadmap completely laid out, where they are reinvesting the money in treasury funds, and you can see that they have this particular goal in mind. Now, this leads quite nicely into the next point, which is future growth and the underlying popularity of a company. Let's say you bought Microsoft stock in the early 90s and you believe that this stock is going to increase in value because of the potential growth of the underlying company, and therefore you keep it so that you can resell it on in the future. Now, similarly, you can do the same with NFTs, and this could be because the underlying NFT art or music or artist or piece of work that it's linked to may become more popular in the future, or that the company that it is linked to is growing and will continue to grow in the future, and therefore will derive you more benefits within the NFT space. Now, for what we've discussed there in these last 3 or 4 points are the benefits that you're getting in the physical world. Money, access to events, pieces of art, things that could bring you joy, whatever it is. The most exciting bit of these NFTs is what they are as digital assets to me. So we need to really talk about the digital space as well. NFTs are usable assets. And you have to imagine that in 15 to 20 years' time, our digital space is completely going to change. I mean, remember, in the year 2000, 22 years ago, that's when the first camera phone in the world was released, and the first USB was released. In 1990, 32 years ago, the World Wide Web was born. So everything that we do online, our whole dependency on the online world, was born 32 years ago. Now, if we as humans can do that, and have done that in 32 years, imagine what this space will look like in 32 years' time. And I truly believe that we as humans are moving towards a human civilization that is living part of its life in the digital world. With the global pandemic resulting in more people working from home, we need to artificially increase the connectivity we have with other people. Now, I work with massive companies around the world, and just last week I was told that one of those companies have already started exploring purchasing of land for the development of a space in artificial digital world. Now, if this is true and this is where we're heading, then digital assets all of a sudden become potentially very, very valuable. Imagine if Banksy releases a digital painting and it was only digital and there was no physical asset. Now, although it's easy for people to just download a Banksy picture that was made and put that on their digital walls or in their profile picture, the problem is everyone knows that it is not the real thing. And this is because the blockchain technology makes it easy to trace back to where the actual asset has come from. And so you're easily able to identify genuine assets in the digital world. And all of a sudden, their scarcity makes them more valuable. It's simple economics. They're scarce resources, which will increase in demand as a bigger and bigger population of people enter the digital market. And then it's not only the art or the assets that you own, it could be your avatar, your profile picture, which may have been specifically made. Early adopters of any scarce assets will always do well. Now, if you can bet on a company that's going to exist in this digital world in 20 to 30 years' time and potentially still be a big player in the game, or have grown to become a big player in the world, then the value of their underlying tokens will be incredibly high. That's where the excitement is, and that's where the value of NFTs could be incredible. So anyway, I hope I've given you a few examples of not only where the NFT value is pretty worthless, but also where NFT value can exist. Now, you have to do your own research, but the overall advice is, are you potentially going to get back in assets, value, or enjoyment the amount that you're putting into this NFT purchase? And if you're not, is the company or person that is underlying or distributing these NFTs going to be around for the foreseeable future and be successful? Treat those NFTs like shares or like assets. You may want to hold big companies or big players, or search for unicorns or stocks with growth potential, but avoid the penny stocks. Avoid the pieces of paper that are worth nothing, the dollar store pictures. That's my advice. Thank you very much for taking the time. Please visit the island's website. We'll be minting on the 1st of May.